For nearly 60 years, if you walked into the Grand Ole Opry on a Saturday night, you heard Jimmy Capps before you even saw him. He wasn't the voice behind the microphone or the star in the spotlight, but his guitar was the steady river that carried legends across the stage. Known as the master of smooth transitions, Capps was the Opry's heartbeat, tucking his Fender Telecaster neatly against his chest and providing a foundation so seamless it felt like part of the building itself. He played behind George Jones, Alan Jackson, and countless others, never demanding credit, only seeking to elevate the show. In 2020, shortly before his passing at the age of 81, Jimmy did something rare. He turned the spotlight away from his own storied career and onto the performers who defined the soul of the Opry for him. These weren't just casual picks, they were his musical family. Here at Prestige Buzz, we're diving into the memories of the man in the shadows to see these legends through his eyes. Before we begin, if you love the history of country music, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Prestige Buzz, and hit that bell notification so you never miss a story from the heart of Nashville. Number 1 is Dolly Parton, the living spirit of the Opry. The first name on Jimmy's list was Dolly Parton. To the world, she was a global icon, but to Jimmy, she was the living spirit of the Opry. He often spoke of her with a smile, noting that Dolly was so sexy in the confidence she carried, not in a shallow way, but in the way she commanded a room while making everyone in it feel important. Jimmy was there in the house band when Dolly was still carving her path, backing her on classics like Jolene and Coat of Many Colors. What Jimmy loved most was that Dolly never forgot the band. While other stars kept their eyes on the crowd, Dolly always offered a wink, a joke, or a nod of recognition to the men behind her. To Jimmy, Dolly represented the perfect blend of glamour and grit, proof that you could become a superstar without losing your soul. Number 2 is George Jones, Raw Truth and Heartbreak. If Dolly was the light, George Jones was the storm. For Jimmy, George wasn't just a singer, he was the embodiment of country music's deepest truth, that pain and beauty live in the same breath. Playing behind the possum was unpredictable. Some nights George was fragile, others, he was fierce. Jimmy acted as his anchor, softening his guitar when George's voice cracked and sharpening the rhythm when he found his fire. Jimmy never judged George for his well-documented struggles. Instead, he respected the vulnerability. When George sang "He Stopped Loving Her Today," Jimmy felt it in his bones. To him, George represented the raw, imperfect humanity that is the very core of the Opry. Number 3 is Alan Jackson, the torchbearer of tradition. When Jimmy named Alan Jackson, it was an acknowledgement of trust. In the late 80s, when Nashville was changing, Alan arrived looking like a man carrying the torch for every honky-tonk singer who came before him. Jimmy admired Alan's humility. Despite his massive fame, Alan always treated the house band as equals, often turning mid-song to thank them. To Jimmy, Alan was a bridge, someone who honored the roots of the past while bringing them into the modern world. Both men came from humble beginnings and valued authenticity over flash. When Jimmy played behind songs like "Remember When," he felt a harmony not just of instruments, but of values. Number 4 is Vince Gill, the gentle virtuoso. If the Opry had a son-in-law everyone wanted, Jimmy said it would be Vince Gill. Jimmy loved Vince for his kindness and his immense respect for the craft of the guitar. Vince is a world-class musician, yet he never hogged the stage. He would often come off stage and compliment Jimmy on a specific lick or a subtle fill, details most stars would never notice. For a man who spent decades in the shadows, that recognition from a peer like Vince meant everything. To Jimmy, Vince represented the soul of the Opry, a combination of world-class talent and genuine, ego-free humanity. Number 5 is Charlie Daniels, the fiery soul. Finally, Jimmy turned to the man who brought the fire, Charlie Daniels. If Vince was the heart, Charlie was the energy. Charlie didn't just play music, he attacked it with a fearlessness that forced everyone on stage to play harder and sharper. Jimmy loved the battle of playing behind the devil went down to Georgia, weaving his guitar through Charlie's furious fiddle. But beyond the intensity, there was a deep bond of friendship. Charlie treated Jimmy as a vital part of the show's heartbeat. In Charlie, Jimmy saw pure passion, the kind of energy that reminds you why you picked up an instrument in the first place. These 5 artists, Dolly, George, Alan, Vince, and Charlie, were a portrait of Jimmy Capps himself. Through them, we see his own values: sincerity, humility, tradition, fire, and soul. On June 2, 2020, the Grand Ole Opry lost its heartbeat. Jimmy passed away quietly, much like he lived, letting his music speak for him. But before he left, he gave us a final gift, a reminder that the Opry isn't built on glitz or headlines, but on family. Though he is gone, if you listen closely to the air at the Opry House, you can still hear him, the smooth transition, the steady rhythm, and the quiet guitar that held the weight of legends. Which of Jimmy's 5 favorites is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Prestige Buzz for more tributes to the legends of country music. We'll see you in the next one.